Hi, and thanks to Kat and Lisa and everybody at 3%. I'm Tracy Brady from Hill Holiday, and we're so pleased to be here as a sponsor. Our creative department just hit 49% women, and 22% of our creative directors are women, so we're getting there. Now, we're proud of all this, but we know we still have a lot of work to do to get to those numbers with people of color and other underrepresented groups at our agency. We hope to apply what we've learned in empowering women to other diverse talents so that our agency more accurately reflects the world we live in and the world we sell to. Some of our creative women are here today. Shout out, people. Our CEO, Karen Kaplan, is here, and most importantly, our creative recruiter, Tara, is here. So go find her. This is PechaKucha. It's a presenting format with a strict timeline of 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide. It goes by quick. Each of us has just under 7 minutes to do our whole presentation. I'm pleased to share the stage today with fellow presenters Stefanie Pome, President and Chief Evangelist of Clever, shout out, and Aubrey Chen, Talent Associate and New York Culture Lead at Digitas. So let's get right into it. Yeah, yay, Aubrey. We just did a selfie backstage. So my presentation is Building Your Personal Brand, which is based on a short article I wrote. I'm supposed to wait while they get it up so they can start the timing. So everyone has different stuff in their toolbox, right? And to build your personal brand, you gotta use the tools that you have. You're more likely to be successful if you build your brand yourself. Strong personal brands, like strong consumer brands, have 3 things: clarity, character, and consistency. You gotta remember those 3 things. Now, Cookie Monster has clarity, character, and consistency, 3 C's. But it was easy for him. He's a dude, and he's blue. So today I'll tell you a little bit about my own brand journey, then I'll talk about clarity, character, and consistency, and I'll give you some questions to help build your own brand if you don't have one. Ready? Now, as marketers, I don't know if you can see this, it says, "Mommy is taking the nap you refuse to take." As marketers, we build brands all day, so it should be easy for us. But as women, it's not easy for us because we often put ourselves after everybody else and everything else we take care of. Building your own brand probably seems like the last thing you have time for, right? It takes work, and it takes years. This is 96-year-old Iris Epfelt. She said, "Fashion you can buy, but style you possess." One nice thing about getting older is you worry less about being judged. That's a polite way of saying the older you get, the less you give a fuck what other people think of your personal brand. The older you get, the better your brand's clarity, character, and consistency gets. But there are unfortunate bumps along the way. That's me at 12. My brand is "Don't look at me." You ever felt like this in a meeting or in a pitch? I feel like this right now. If you ever felt like this, you're not alone. Find the courage to pivot. But be careful how you pivot. Here's my brand at 18. Look at me. This brand says, "I want attention and I'm gonna make poor choices to get it." This is worse than "Don't look at me," because arrogance and vanity often camouflage a lack of confidence, and that will damage your brand because it will prevent you from connecting to others, and that is crucial in this and any business. Now, Diana here was raised without the presence of men, so she never learned how to be self-conscious. Instead of "Don't look at me" or "Look at me," her brand says, "I'm looking at you." She's ready to defend herself, tell the truth, and stand up for what she believes in, and you don't have to be Wonder Woman to do that. All right, clarity. These are the only white guys today, by the way. Be clear about who you are and what you have to offer. So who are you? That sounds like a simple question, but as any creative knows, simple is hard. Every job interview asks, "Tell me about yourself." You should have a 1-page, a 1-paragraph, and a 1-sentence answer to that question. It's a good exercise. Here's someone who's clear about who she is. Laverne Cox rocks. Emmy-nominated actress, equal rights advocate, first openly transgender TV star. So who are you? Maybe you're a director from Chicago, but what have you done? What have you won? What has your work changed? Sell yourself like you would sell your best work. What are you good at? That's your next question. Maybe it's speaking truth to power, like San Juan Mayor Carmen Cruz. Wherever you're at in your career, you're good at something. Maybe it's graphic design, writing copy, music, maybe it's sidestepping account people. Think about what you're really good at, because we're going to come back to that at the end if we have time. Next question. What are you better at than anyone you know? This is the heart of your brand clarity, where you sell your best qualities. It's hard for women to brag because we often undersell ourselves. You gotta own your talents. You gotta grow huge confidence balls and oversell yourself. Act like a man. Leslie Jones, character. Leslie Jones worked hard to find success while staying true to herself. She's the oldest cast member ever to be hired at SNL, and she had never before written sketch comedy. But she didn't change who she was to get where she wanted to be. She didn't compromise her character, even when bullied by racist trolls. Never compromise your character. It's the best thing you have. Tig Notaro had a double mastectomy and did a stand-up comic set topless. Flaws and scars should be embraced, not hidden. People remember the unusual, so be proud of your story and tell it every chance you get. Your character is yours, and no one can take it from you, unless you let them. Don't let them. Maysoon Zayid has amazing stories about being an Arab-American Muslim actress with cerebral palsy. So what makes you unique? Tell me something about your character, even if you think it's not impressive, especially if you think it's not impressive. Tell me a story. Stories illuminate our character and make us human. When I tell people that Salma Hayek made me cry over disco music, or that I accidentally made members of the Wu-Tang Clan fly coach, or that I admitted to a meat products client that I was a vegetarian, people perk up. I'm not proud of those career moments, but they help form my character. So find your mistakes, turn them into stories, and celebrate them. All right, consistency, third C. We all know what Malala stands for because her message is consistent. Maintain your brand's consistency across every opportunity you have: a chance meeting, a presentation, a panel, a byline, a blog post, a job interview. Every time you can, present. If you don't have opportunities to present, make them. Lorde started out by singing in her bedroom and putting videos on YouTube. Successful people make their own opportunities. Do you want to write? If your agency doesn't have a blog, create your own. Are there sites that you read where you could be a contributor and do bylines? Seek them out. Consistency. Tweet, comment, follow, and repeat. When you build a following, your brand builds value. Issa Rae made her own opportunities and built loyal fans. Use your networks to grow your brand. Share, be clear and consistent, and let your character shine. The more you sell your brand out loud, the better you'll get. Final question, what's your elevator pitch? We all know what one is. We should all have one. Here's mine. I'm a 20-year veteran of marketing communications. I'm also a failed novelist, former Hollywood publicist, and exhausted mom. Today, I work for a great agency connecting people, stories, and brands. Some people make things. My job is to make things happen. So here's your homework. Think about your brand. Does your brand have clarity, character, and consistency? Who are you? What are you good at? And what are you better at than everyone you know? Now I want everybody to turn to the person on their right, look them in the eye, and tell them something they're really good at. Thank you. Do it.
Hi, everyone. Jumping in here because we only have 20 seconds per slide. I'm Stefanie Pome. I'm the president, chief evangelist, founder of Clever. You can find me at Clever Stefanie on Twitter. I want you all to picture in your head, just for a second, a 40-year-old woman. Who is she? Do you have someone in mind? What's she about? What are her interests? What are her hobbies? What's she into? Chances are, if you're over 40 in the room, 40 or over, you're thinking of someone different than someone under 40. I have been interested in challenging the notion of what it means to be 40 plus ever since I turned 40 8 years ago. I strive to live a vibrant, active, adventurous, curious life. I want to live forever, but so do most of my friends. When I was younger and I thought about people over 40, they were invisible to me. They were my parents, they were teachers, later professors, bosses. What were they into? I didn't care. I was too busy thinking about myself and $2 Tuesday and which club I was going to. When I asked my friends the same question, what did you think about people over 40 when you were younger? This is what they said. Some of these responses might be familiar to you. You may have thought the same things. A friend shared that she was thrilled that her mom had found a second chance at love so late in life, Her mom was 43 at the time. When I asked my millennial colleague to ask her friends the same question, probably not surprisingly, similar results. Even though time has passed, the results, the thoughts still are the same, and this concerns me, and it should concern you too. The first person who challenged the notion for me of what it meant to be a woman over 40 was this badass. I think I was a freshman in high school when I discovered her workout videos, and my friends and I did them, and we didn't think much about the fact that she was 45 when she made these videos. We just wanted that slamming body. Still pretty hot. Mainstream media has portrayed women over 40 in a variety of ways, but mostly we are ridiculous, we are unhip, we are not cool, we are dorky, we wear mom jeans. But ironically, mom jeans are the in jeans now, and my 15-year-old thinks skinny jeans are mom jeans. We've been sent messages that we can get older, we just can't look older while we're doing it. There is the notion that you can be too old to be in a wrinkle cream ad. Meet the new face of Dior's anti-aging line. She's 25. Women over 40, these are your skin goals. Look 20. But there's hope. You know, we can see actual older women in ads for skin creams now. But even better, we can see older women partnering with beauty and fashion brands for products nothing to do with age. Gwen Stefani's capsule collection with Urban Decay, nothing to do with age, sellout. But when I look at ads, and we're all in, this is our common denominator here targeting me, I don't see myself anywhere. Do you see yourselves anywhere here? I mean, the bathtub thing, it's not really how I hang with my boo. And the funeral ad, I don't even get. If we look to Hollywood, it's even worse. We're even more invisible because, as we know, there are three distinct types. There's the sexy ingenue, the sassy business lady district attorney, maybe she's a mom, probably a single mom, and then driving Miss Daisy. But the vibrant 40-year-old woman that I feel and my friends feel, nowhere to be seen. But where do I see myself? Surprisingly, right here. 2 years away from a subscription to Art Magazine, and I relate to these people. And why is that? I will bet money on the fact that they have people over 40 making creative decisions. And those people know exactly what we're about. So as I said, in my work life, in my social life, real life, I'm trying to challenge the notion of what it means to be 40. I live in Silicon Valley. A lot of my friends here do too, and are worried about being aged out of jobs in 5 to 7 years when they have so much to offer. This also concerns me. But things are changing. These are ads pulled from my Instagram feed. Now I'm being targeted all of a sudden for my interests rather than my age. These are all products that I'm interested in, use or would use. I mean, I don't know what Beyonce's doing on Instagram right now, but I want all of it, and I'm going to add it to my cart as soon as it's available. This is my friend, Bria. She's a badass. She shows and we show that we've never stopped indulging in our passions. I've taken a hip-hop class since I was 15. I will never stop. Bria says, I'm 45 and realize that being in my 40s is lit. I'm finally getting to do the things I couldn't do when I was in my 20s because I have energy and money now, and our kids are grown. When your creative team lacks diversity of any kind, this is what you get. Who remembers the sad disaster? But when you bring in diverse points of view, you get this cute woman, atypical 60, in a Fenty beauty ad. Check out this team. You just received an RFP for a luxury automobile brand on Friday. Is this the team that's going to win you that business? That's not to say that millennials can't understand Gen X psychographics. They can. But imagine the value that an over 40 perspective would bring. Ageism and overemphasis on youth culture is deeply ingrained, but I want all of us to commit to pointing it out. I want all of us to challenge assumptions, and I want all of us to hire older women when we are managers. I want us to make that commitment. And I want to read something that Kat Gordon said recently as I look at my agency. Agencies or individuals that are bored with diversity are approaching it entirely wrong. If it feels like an act of forced compliance, then you are not bored, you're angry at how it's being implemented inside your agency. The lifeblood of an agency is the mashup of creative perspectives, resulting in something fresh and original. So, going back to that initial slide, when I talk to my friends now about what it's like to be over 40, they say, it's about never stop, never stopping. It's about being a great friend. It's about living a fuck yes life. It's about challenging assumptions. And it's about changing the way people think about women over 40, and hopefully you think differently now too. Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna make an assumption about everyone in this crowd. I'm gonna assume that everyone here is a human being who gets it when you do this little dance after drinking too much coffee in the morning. You know what it's all about. Now, for many of us, using a public restroom is a fairly forgettable experience. You find out you need to go, you find the closest bathroom, you're not worried about what you're wearing, you're not worried about how you look. You go in, do your business, wash your hands, you wash your hands, you wash your hands, and then you go about to live the rest of your life. Now, for those of us in the transgender and gender nonconforming community, using a public restroom can be one of the most anxious moments of our day. If you're a trans man, you get worried about looking too feminine, walking to the men's room and getting beat up. If you're a trans woman, you're worried about looking not feminine enough, walking to the women's room, getting yelled at and told you don't belong. If you're gender nonconforming, good luck. Now, with the increase of transgender visibility in the media, it's been a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's amazing that people like me can be on stages like this talking to people like you. On the flip side, it's tossed us right in the middle of the culture wars, and transgender bathroom usage has become the central battle that we fight over. Across the country, we have bathroom bills popping up, bills championed by that's the ex-governor, Pat McCrory, who decided that, hey, if you're transgender, you can't use the bathroom that aligns with your own gender identity. Now, let me tell you something. This is bad. And part of this, and the most sinister part of it, is this story that they tell. They equate trans women with men who are mentally ill predators, who are here to attack your sisters, attack your daughters, attack your wives. This is a total bullshit. Like, this has never happened before. This is a total, complete myth. It is completely imaginary. Now, it's something that still boggles my mind, and it's something that I want to just say this. No woman has ever been attacked by a transgender person in the bathroom. In fact, transgender people are much more likely to actually be harassed in bathrooms. According to a survey, 24% of transgender respondents report having their presence in a restroom questioned or challenged in the past year. 12% say they've been verbally harassed. 9% have been denied restroom access in the past year. Now, again, I'm just going to reiterate this is all bullshit. But what I really want to say is it's never been about bathrooms. We're not protecting anybody. Trans bathroom legislation prevents trans and gender nonconforming people from existing in the public space. They say that, hey, if you don't fit into what we think you should look like, you shouldn't have the right to use the restroom. Now, that's not the only thing. We have a rich tradition of policing how people should look. This is a cartoon from the women's suffrage movement. How dare this person wear trousers and attempt to use the women's room? Trousers are for men. Everybody knows that. If you're wearing trousers, you can't be a lady. That's ridiculous. Now, if you're thinking, wow, people in the past are so socially ignorant, this is Senator Barbara Mikulski. She fought for the right for congresswomen on Capitol Hill to wear pants on the Senate floor. She won this right in the 1990s. This is a headline from just last year. London receptionist sent home for not wearing heels. Might I add, she was sent home without getting paid. These are all examples of how women, especially, are policed in the way they express their gender. Is your hair too short? You look like a boy. Let's see. Oh my gosh, do you like wearing pants? How dare you subvert the patriarchy through your preference for comfortable clothing with pockets? It's all ridiculous. And here's the thing, when we talk about enforcement of bathroom legislation, There isn't going to be someone standing at the door checking your ID. There's no one who's going to be checking your birth certificate. There's no one checking whether you have an innie or an outie. No. It'll be people saying, hey, you don't look like what I think a woman should look like. Your hair is too short, your voice is too deep, you're not wearing any makeup, and I'm going to call the cops on you. Trans bathroom legislation falls on the intersection of not only transphobia, but also misogyny. It's a way to say, hey, transgender and gender nonconforming folks, you can exist in the public sphere, and if you do not fit into the strict boundaries of what gender should look like, you should not exist either. Now, we're all in this fight together. I was at a women's event earlier in the year talking about trans issues, and I had a well-meaning woman come up to me and say, hey, thank you so much. I totally consider myself an ally, but I really think we should be focusing on women's issues at women's events and not transgender stuff. We'll deal with that later. To her, I say this. Transgender women are women. Intersectional feminism needs to move beyond just looking at gender. We need to embrace all identities within our ranks. I am a transgender woman. I am a woman of color. I am a daughter of immigrants. I am a proud queer woman, and I deserve to exist in our spaces. We cannot win equality for all by sacrificing the equality of some. Now, as we disperse from this conference, as we go back to our agencies, as we go back to our lives, our cities, our families, I implore you, fight for equality for all. If you are not a woman of color, fight for women of color. If you are not a Muslim woman, fight for a Muslim woman. Or if you are not a transgender woman, fight for a transgender woman. The only way that we'll ever get justice and freedom and equality for all of us is if we persist, resist, and fight together in support of all women. So, if you'll excuse me, I need to go pee.